Welcome, friends. Hello there. How are you? I'm good. Thanks for asking. Well, welcome to this week's very special edition. I think it's a special edition of Morphinominal Monday, where you and I and us paint Power Ranger miniatures. And today we are not painting Power Rangers from Heroes of the Grid. Today we are painting Power Rangers from the Power Ranger role-playing game, which is super exciting. I have not painted any of these yet, and I'm very excited to do so. So, without further ado, let's head over to the table. And here we go. Here we have the Red Ranger. He is the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Red Ranger, obviously. And again, this is one of the miniatures from the role-playing game. The role-playing game box set, which I have. I should have showed that off first, but if you look in the bottom of your screen there, here it is, see? I guess I can show it here too. Wow, that's very close. Hold on. Hold on, let's go wide. There we are. The Power Rangers role-playing game hero miniature set number 2. So inside this box, you get 12 awesome Ranger miniatures. So it comes with Mighty Morphin black, blue, green, pink, red, white, and yellow. Zeo blue, pink, and red, and Turbo green and yellow. So super cool box set. And today we are painting the Red Ranger. So let's zoom in. All right, there we go. So next to me, I have my Heroes of the Grid Red Ranger that I painted a very long time ago. This was one of the first miniatures I painted when Heroes of the Grid first came out. I wasn't even a Renegade painter yet. And so I have him next to me because he's what I'm going to be using as my reference today. He's a little bit darker of a red than I would have liked, so I'm going to try and make sure that I lighten that up a bit from my previous attempt at doing this. All right. So, if you weren't here for last week, I now have look at that, a wet palette space. You can see that I have not a lot of space on it. So I'm going to try and work here in this middle section for you to see. And also, before I get too deep into this, let me remind you, in case you were not aware, this miniature that I'm about to paint, you can win. It can be all yours. What do they say? It can be all yours if the price is right. Well, the price is free, folks. It's free. So we're going to get our handy dandy Mephiston red, and that's what we're going to start with here. Again, the way that I had painted it before, it was significantly more red than I wanted it to be. I mean, not more red, but a darker red. So looking back on it, I mean, that was what? When did the game come out? 2 years ago? 2.5 years ago-ish? Yeah, you do have to be in it to win it. That was a game too, right? In it to win it? So this is going to be Mephiston red all over. I have primed the miniature with Wraithbone spray, which is pretty much my standard these days. Hopefully my image quality is good. From what you may have seen in previous streams. I may have mentioned it last stream. I'm not sure. But I'm kind of trying something new out here with my camera setup and my audio setup. So if for any reason you can't hear me or see what I'm doing, I have this little red dot, so as long as I stay near this little red dot, usually it works out pretty well. I was telling my friend today that this is probably the smallest miniature I've ever painted. It's quite tiny. It's so tiny, in fact, that I don't know. I just wanted to say it's so tiny because that's the name of my other show. But shameless plug. So I'm not being super. The audio is soft, huh? I wonder why. You're actually the first person to tell me that my audio is quiet. I will see if I can crank that up a little bit. Is the audio quiet for anyone else? Just want to make sure before I crank it, which is not to say I don't believe you. I'm not being like super careful around the white diamonds and stuff. But I am being careful, if that makes sense. Let me crank the gain up and tell me if you guys if that makes a difference. All right. Now you'll have to let me know if it's any better. Yeah, painting over the diamonds, the white diamonds over top of the red isn't a good time. However, because the miniature is so small, avoiding the diamonds completely is not much of an option, especially with my carpal tunnel. I have turned the gain up, by the way, so if it got louder, let me know if it's too loud or not loud enough. It's also hard because, like, I'm hearing myself in the microphone. I'm sorry, hearing myself in my headset because I have that option turned on. And I can see, you know, the volume bar on OBS showing me, like, how loud I am. And it seems like I'm staying in the green and sometimes in the yellow if my voice gets really loud. So as long as it doesn't turn red, I've been told that that's good, but I also don't know much about audio, so definitely let me know. All right, let's see. What else is red on this guy? This sword has some red, but yeah, I mean, my microphone isn't, like, obviously right next to my face or anything like that. And I don't want to pick up any background noise, although I am in a basement by myself 99% of the time. But see, like, right now my dogs are barking, and I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. So I don't ever want to assume you can't and then it be too much. So all right. I'm going to start kind of painting these diamonds on the shoes a little bit. Right now I'm just trying to box in the basic colors. It's tough because the details are so tiny. So tiny. Actually, I think I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. You can't hear the dogs. Well, that's a good thing. I wonder if you can hear my chair that squeaks every time I move my chair, too. Or the sound of the water pot. Alright, let's see. Let's push that brush away. Let's look at my brushes here. Which one is smallest? Is this the smallest one? Yeah, let's give this one a go. Alright, let's see what we got here. I'm going to need some more Mephistan red. Also, let me know if you guys and gals like to like the fact that I now have this wet palette thing. You can also probably hear me now every time I sniffle. I sniffle a lot due to the pollen. Alright, that's not too shabby. I will have to clean it up a little bit with the white, but that's alright. I actually think I'm going to switch to my white now. The planet, yeah. It's actually my wife, because if it were up to me, I would never leave the house, in which case I wouldn't have to deal with the pollen. But she makes me leave the house, so it's really her that's trying to kill me. Grabbing some Wraithbone to put on my palette. Basically what I'm going to do now, before I continue working on those red details, is I am going to block off the colors. So here on the foot, I've messed up. So I'm going to fix my mistakes before I keep going. And they're not really mistakes, right? Because I flat out said that I was going to not be careful. And I wasn't. And I paid the price. Y'all will have to excuse me too. I have, like, my carpal tunnel is flared up really bad. So it's causing, like, shaking and all kinds of stuff. It's under control at the moment, but like a silly, silly boy, I did not bring my braces down, my wrist braces. So I may need to text my youngest and be like, hey, can you bring me my braces? So that way I don't have to leave the stream to go get them. Assuming that they would even help. I don't know. Sometimes they help and then other times they don't. It really just depends on the day. Looks like a lot of people are watching the Capcom video game announcement. I don't know what that is. I mean, I know what Capcom is. Are they announcing... I'm assuming they're announcing Street Fighter 6. I mean, that was already announced, but maybe a release date? What else could Capcom have coming out that's important? Unless it's like another Marvel versus Capcom game. They make Resident Evil too, right? Now that I think about it. I think Capcom makes Resident Evil also. I think somebody earlier, when I was saying something, asked about the polls. So there won't be any polls until we finish the contest streams. So these next few streams are going to be focused on getting the contest minis painted, since GenCon is soon. And Renegade needs them back soon. And then as soon as those are done, we will get back to the doing the polls and stuff. And maybe by then I'll have the Time Force stuff. Perhaps. Yeah, I don't care so much about Mega Man. That's kind of like run its course, I think, for me. Unless they come out with like a Mega Man first-person perspective. Like, I'm done with side-scrollers. This last Metroid game killed me. I know we're the same person, G. Seriously, I would never go outside unless I was forced to. Metroid is good. It is not easy, though. It is extremely rage-inducing. Not unlike a Elder Ring or, Dark Souls level rage-inducing, but it's up there. Like, I didn't even finish it because literally, like, I would lay down at night after having just finished a session and I wouldn't be able to sleep because I was so angry. And I was like, yeah, this is a solo side scroller game should not make me tilt like this. Shredder's Revenge. I guess that is kind of a side scroller. Yeah, you got me there. I think what's appealing about Shredder's Revenge, though, is the fact that it's, co op. Metroid is not co op. Mega Man, at least up to this point, has not been co op. Is Metroid creepy? No. Not at all. Yeah, I miss my music too. I I have found a solution, I believe, to my music issue. However, I need to test my solution out, and I can't do it unless I'm live. And I didn't want to do it on this stream because it's not my stream. So Thursday when I stream It's So Tiny, I will have music because I'll be attempting to try out my idea. And if it works, then going forward, we will have music. And if it doesn't work, then the video that I make on Thursday will be flagged. But at least it will be my video and not Renegade's video. So, I mean, I've tried like 17 different ways to fix this audio issue. So if it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to either pay a subscription somewhere that will let me do it, or I'm just gonna give up on music entirely. Because it's getting frustrating. But I miss it too. Like I'm not listening to anything right now. I'm literally, you want me to serenade you? I don't think that that's a good idea. Renegade may not invite me back. Alright, so like I said earlier, right now I'm just boxing in the colors. And then we'll do a wash. And then after the wash, we will do all the detailing. And these details are so small. I mean, it's good practice for me if I ever decided that I wanted to like paint the whole box or paint any other RPG miniatures. Like, I'm sure because of like how Renegade has marketed these, I am sure that there are more to come, and there will definitely be like monsters and stuff, which is super exciting. Because if you know me, then you know I love painting the monsters more than I love painting the rangers. So that will be very exciting if I will get to paint more monsters, especially tiny monsters. Although I imagine in scale, like if they keep everything in scale, they will they'll give us more monsters. I mean, more size. What am I talking about? I'm like looking at. I'm gonna do the sword last, by the way. Like, I'm completely ignoring the sword right now. I'm gonna pretend it's not there. Alright, now I'm going to do the rest of the red diamonds. Again with my Mephiston red. Don't forget that tomorrow I will be back, same time, same channel. And tomorrow, I'll give you guys a sneak peek since you're here watching me now. Nobody else has seen this yet. Tomorrow, I will be painting this lady, Scarlet, from the G.I. Joe role-playing game. Night, bestie. So yeah, same time tomorrow, but we are going to do Scarlet from the G.I. Joe game. She will be interesting to paint because I haven't painted a larger version of her. See, with the Red Ranger here, I've painted the large version, which I've already showed you. So I kind of know like how it's gonna go. Also, there's kind of only one way to paint the Red Ranger, right? From this particular Red Ranger. Because this is how he looks, right? I mean, I could paint him a different color, but other than that, the Red Ranger looks like the Red Ranger. Whereas Scarlet, or characters like Scarlet, have had so many different iterations of that character that picking a color scheme and picking how their outfit is going to look is a little more. There's a little more to it. So, especially again, since I have not painted her. Need more money. So many things coming out. Shredder's Revenge, Cowabunga Collection, Sega Genesis Mini 2, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Necessarily Evil 2, Deluxe Hardcover. Oh man, that is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Alright, now I'm just taking a gander here. See if there is anything major that I missed. Again, I am not painting the sword right now. Just letting the red dry real quick. All right. I'm gonna grab our friend. Well, maybe I'll do something different. No, I don't want to do that. I was gonna do something different with my shading, but I'm not going to because I realized it was a terrible idea the second I thought about doing it. So we're going to get Null Oil GW shade here. By the way, completely unrelated but related to painting. Games Workshop today announced it has 25, I think, new contrast paints coming out and like 10 new shades. They announced that today. So for the painters out there, it's pretty exciting if you use, Games Workshop stuff, that is. I will not be getting all of the contrast paints because I don't have all the contrast paints that exist now because I just don't use them that much. I use a few of them a lot, like yellow and white. I use all the time, but I don't use the other colors. However, I do use shades on just about every single model. Like 99 out of 100 models I do use shades on. So I will most likely purchase all of the shades. Hopefully they have like a set. You just pay, you know, one price and get them all. I don't know when they're coming out, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think they also have a couple new technical paints as well coming out. Models that are really small like this will have tons of pooling in areas you don't want. So I'm just trying to soak up some of the excess. All right, let him set for a minute. I'll put him here so you guys got something to look at. My Heroes of the Grid guy turned out great. Like, I was super happy with the way that he looked. Maybe a little bit too much wash in the abs and stuff makes him look a little... But, you know, this game has heroic size miniatures, so I think he looks very comic booky and very heroic. I really like the way he turned out. Yeah, so let's look really quick. I have it saved on my phone, what all they've got coming out. So they have 7 new shades, and 5 times 5 is 25. Yeah, and 25 new contrast paints. As well as a new spray can, White Scar. So White Scar was a spray already, but now they're branding it as a color spray, which is like their new thing, and it's supposed to be better than what it is. So if you're into painting and you like using Games Workshop paints, yeah, that's exciting stuff coming. The shades look great. Very excited about that. The contrast paints do too. I just don't use contrast paints very much, so I can't really speak to them, but some of them are very vibrant and really nice looking. But like I said, they don't yeah, some of these are super cool, and then they show the shades, and they're I can't wait for the shades. Yeah, and they're saying the White Scar that they have coming out is brighter than their original White Scar. So, anyway, just a little bit of painting news for those painters out there. Unfortunately, Renegade doesn't have their own paints yet, so we gotta find them elsewhere, huh? All right, I'm gonna start working on this sword while that dries. I'm going to get my handy dandy lead belcher. I have used Black Templar in the past, but to be honest with you, I don't like it. So I don't use it as much as probably I would if I did like it. I do use it though. I mean, mostly because of speed. Like, I use it especially on Renegade streams because you know, I'm limited on time. So if I need to cover a large surface area with black, then I will use the black contrast paint. But if I have more time, or if I had more time, I would not use it. So it is mostly a time saver for me. And that's true for all of the contrast paints. The only 2 contrast paints that I would say I genuinely like, and I would use them regardless of time, is these 2. Contrast Apothecary White and contrast Iandan Yellow, however you pronounce that. These two contrast paints, I like the Apothecary White so much that it's low, and I literally just went out and bought another one. And this guy is a yellow machine for somebody who hates painting yellow. Although recently I've gotten much better at painting yellow, so maybe soon I won't need that either. But that Apothecary White is the best. Love it. Love, 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 love. Where'd you find this paint info? I saw it on Facebook, but I think it was right on Games Workshop's website. I think somebody had linked it to me from there. So if you just go to Games Workshop's website, I'm sure it's one of the first things that come up. It's one of their bigger announcements for the day. Since this is a competition model, are you dressing up the base? I don't know. I hadn't really thought about the base, to be honest with you. I don't think so, only because, like, what if the person who gets the model doesn't, want to do all of that with their models when they get it? You know what I mean? Like, if I knew the person ahead of time and I was like, oh, is this going to be a display piece? Or, are you going to be painting the other models and you won't have the same basing material that I have? That's a good question. I honestly hadn't thought about it. And like all miniatures, I need to have my signature stamp on it, which is German gray. So, a little bit of German gray on my palette. You should put your card in and offer commission work for basing. I guess I should get business cards made, huh? I mean, I have generic ones made for Circle of Nerds, but it does not have my It's So Tiny information on it, or any commission work information on it. Because I made those like a long time ago. So I'm using the German gray, by the way, to paint the handle of the blade. Again, just so that it has some German gray on it. It's kind of like my signature stamp there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use black for that. I was going to say I was going to use it on the Morpher too, but I'm not going to use it on the Morpher. What else is black? Yeah, so I need black and gold. So I'm going to use Vallejo color, model color. No, you know what? I'm going to use Abaddon black for the black. And Retributor armor. There it is on the gold. All right. So this is going to be on the Morpher. Let's see. I gotta do the visor here. And that visor is small as heck. All right, I'm gonna grab a little bit of red. Again, this is for the Morpher. And last, but certainly not least, we need some gold. The gold will be for the hilt of the sword as well as the power coin. And again, we're using Retributor armor for that. So there's the, let it focus, there we go, there's the power coin, the morpher there. Oh no! No, Frodo! I got paint on my table. It's alright. It's not the end of the world. Won't be the first spot of paint on the table, and it certainly won't be the last. I don't know why I yelled for Frodo. Like Frodo Baggins was gonna come help me with my paint spillage or something. It's kind of random, to be honest with you. It was a little random. I wonder if there's a Frodo miniature out there. There has to be, right? Wasn't there? Isn't there a Lord of the Rings miniature game? And Games Workshop makes a Lord of the Rings miniature game. And if they do, then I certainly think that I need to find me a Frodo miniature. What do you guys think? Yeah, I've tried putting down stuff underneath, paper towels or whatever. That's why I have this thing. This is just a $5 or $10 cutting mat. But I mean, I splash and stuff gets everywhere anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I bought this table with the express reason of painting, so I mean, if I painted on like my dining room table or something like that, then I would care more. But that table was also much more expensive than this one was. I got this cheap on Amazon, and I just keep adding to it. Alright, sword is nice and done. You can see it detailed there. Not too bad for such a small piece of, for such a small thing. Because it is tiny. It's so tiny. Alright, so now I'm going to my original color, that Mephiston red, and I'm going to start repainting the stuff that's red to darken it up and also kind of cover up some of the spaces that I missed as best I can. Hey, Tony. I'm not gonna lie, the diamonds are very difficult. They're so tiny. And unfortunately, there's really no easy way to paint them. So, trying to make them look good is not an easy task here. And I'm using the smallest brush I got. Smallest good brush I have, I should say. I have other brushes that are smaller, but they suck. So that wouldn't really do me any good. That's about as good as those diamonds are gonna get, at least until I can. Oh, I forgot a whole arm. Never mind. I didn't do this side. Or I did, and it just doesn't look like I did because it's poopy. Alright, let's see. Let's start working on the red elsewhere. Man, they need to give you a raise for working as many hours as you've been working lately. I mean, I've obviously known you a long time. You've always been one to, work long hours, but holy moly. Feels like lately it's been a little excessive. Good news is you're training a new person. So far, she's great. Yeah, that would be good for you because, man, you've been working really hard. Yes, this is exactly how I did my Heroes of the Grid miniature. I might do slightly more than I did with him. Um, because I've learned so much about painting in the last few years since I painted him. But we'll see how time is looking. Right now, time is looking pretty good, but with me, you never know. I go on these painting tangents where I'm like, oh, let's do this and let's do that. And next thing you know, time is up. I honestly thought it was going to be difficult to fill time because the miniature is so small, but I'm quickly finding that it's just as detailed as the Heroes of the Grid miniatures, even though it's smaller. So it requires the same amount of due attention. And because the details are smaller, it takes more precision and being a little more careful. Yeah, life is short, and so is time to paint, that's for sure. I'm sorry for the sniffling, guys. Hopefully it's not super distracting since I've turned the mic up. I need a little more Mephiston red. All right. Now I'm going to start bringing out the red trifecta, as I like to call it. So Games Workshop likes to make these I don't know what they call them, like tricolor sets, so that you don't have to do any thinking really. So you have Mephiston Red, Evil Sun Scarlet, and Wild Rider Red. So we've already used our Mephiston Red. I'm going to grab some Evil Sun Scarlet. I'm going to put it on my palette. You can watch what I'm doing on the screen there. Put a couple drops. And then I'm going to take my base color here, which is that Mephiston Red. Take a good chunk of it and mix it in with my Evil Sun Scarlet. Matter of fact, we can just move it all in there together. And this creates like a nice in-between, so we're not just jumping straight into the next color. And essentially, I'm going to go over everything I just did in some spots. So I'm looking where the light would hit, top of the thigh here. And the top of the knee, connecting it all together. Same thing over here, top of the leg, the knee. And notice how maybe you don't notice, but I'm not going as close to the shadows as I did with the color before. And I'm going to do that all over. And this, as you continue these steps, each step should get a little quicker because you're not covering as much space. You can just be much, much quicker with it. You want to grab some of those diamonds too. Especially the ones that would see the light, if that makes sense. The ones that are underneath where the shadows are, I'm not going to get those. Thor 4 comes out... It's a good question. Soon-ish? Hopefully soonish is a sophisticated enough answer that you were looking for. They usually go on sale a month in advance, so maybe July 13th. if it went on sale today and it's June 13th? It's definitely July. I just don't remember which date specifically in July. All right, so now I'm just going to go straight Wild Rider Red. Sorry, no. Evil Sun Scarlet. Whew. Almost jumped the gun there. Same thing. Again, only less surface area. I'm just trying to pick out the spots that are most exposed to light. July 8th. Look at that. That was close. Ish. My daughter is upstairs laughing hysterically. I know y'all can't hear it, but I have no idea what she's laughing about. A movie version of Shatters of the Grid. Yeah, I agree. Bring it on. All right, now I'm grabbing my last color, Wild Rider Red. significantly more orange than the other one. And again, I'm mixing it in with my Evil Sun Scarlet to make a transition between the two, so that the transition does not seem as sharp. It's a little more au natural. And again, I'm just looking for the most extreme spots. I'm just cleaning up some mistakes real quick. Went a little too bright on some of these here. So I would say that that last step that I just did, the adding in the, what was this? Wild Rider Red, very unnecessary. That was just a little too orangey. So I'm covering it up with the step that I did before that. And it looks significantly better now, so. If you want to use it for edge highlighting, you can, but I think it's not needed for that transitional highlighting like I was doing before. So, very easy to cover up. All right. Now let's work on the white. Does that look dark to me? Like, is that dark for you guys? It looks, my screen looks dark to me. I don't know why that's so dark. Is it a setting on my camera? I don't know too much about this camera, so let's see. Sorry if it gets shaky for a second. Let's see, can I change the brightness? I feel like that's what needs to be fixed here. Nope, not that. That's not it. Well, thank you, camera. Yep, I know. I don't have a memory card in there. Thanks. I don't know. I don't know why it's so dark. Let's see, can I transform it? No. Can I add a filter? Let's see, edit filters. Let's see, dramatic. Color correction. Brightness. That looks a little better, but that's not. Oh, and now my Alexa's going to talk.
Name or password
Thank you.
Changed. To update your Wi-Fi information,
It
go
hasn't,
to the
though.
Alexa app.
Edit. Delete. I guess I'll have to look that up. I mean, you guys tell me if it looks really red. Why does it look so bad? Top down camera. Filters. Edit filters. Grayscale. Nope. So nope. Action movie. Maybe it's just me. You guys will. No one's saying anything in the chat, so I don't know. Performance mode. Preview is disabled for performance mode. Well, then I don't want that. I know he's red. Does the picture look dark? Like the picture overall, like I'm not even necessarily talking about him. Like the miniature. So it doesn't look like it's too dark. Like the picture doesn't look too dark to you. Like I don't have enough lighting or something, like. Because I literally have a camera now right above the miniature. So I just want to make sure that you guys can see okay. No, the model has a neck. I just haven't painted that part yet. That's next. Picture looks fine. Okay. I will take your word for it. On my screen, it does not look fine, by the way. So, as long as it looks fine on the stream, that's all I care about. I just don't want it to be too dark, that's all. So I've got my friend all through in gray here, and we are going to start to pick out the squares. Diamonds, they're not squares. I don't care what the picture looks like on my end. I only care what it looks like on your end. So as long as it looks good to you. I am painting the Black Ranger, yes. So as long as you can see the Black Ranger on your screen, then that is all that matters to me. I always have to ask this on stream, so I'm going to ask, do I have any sports fans, specifically basketball fans, watching on stream right now? Because tonight is a huge game. Like, if you're going to watch a game, I think tonight is the game you watch of all the games. I think tonight is the game. Not at all the determining factor in the series, because it's now a best of 3 series. So there's at least 1, possibly 2 more games to decide. But tonight is the night, I think, that will tell us everything we need to know. And as a diehard Celtics fan, I will tell you that I am proud of my team for getting it as far as they did. Initially, I did not think that they would even last this long against Golden State. And at this point in time, I honestly think it could be anybody's game. I think both teams are outstanding. And even though I don't want the Celtics to lose, if they do, I'm glad that they would be losing to Golden State, because Golden State is just, I mean, Steph Curry is just so much fun to watch, you know? So, anyway, that's my basketball rant. I will keep it small. It wasn't really a rant. It was more of me talking to myself about basketball. Hyping myself up for the game tonight. I agree, Tony. You know, looking at this particular miniature, in this pose for Red Ranger, I'm really getting vibes of the Super Nintendo game. Does everybody remember the Super Nintendo Power Ranger game? Just the stance, like it just looks very. I've only been a basketball fan for about 10-ish years. And it's always been Celtics, and I hate everybody that's not Celtics. But there are some teams, and specifically some players, that despite the fact that I hate them because I'm jealous they're not on my team mostly. There are just some players that you can't, like, you just can't not enjoy watching them play. And Steph Curry is one of them. In the moment, I'm yelling at him on my screen, and I'm, hating on him, but at the end of the day, he's one of the more humble superstars out there. And that's one thing I hate about superstars is the cockiness and the arrogance of some of them. Like Kyrie Irving and LeBron is cocky too, I guess. Russell Westbrook. Jimmy Butler. Like, you can be a superstar and not have to be that arrogant. You know what I mean? You're still going to get your Nike or your Adidas deal. Like, oh no, I got it on his pants. Yeah, I'm going to try and stay up and watch the game tonight. I got to work in the morning, so we'll see. I mean, I was up early this morning, but not as early as you, so we'll see if I can make it. It'll depend on if the game is good. Like, if it looks like it's a blowout one way or the other, I mean, I'll turn it off in the last, 5 to 8 minutes, depending on the score. Even if if it's the Celtics that are doing that, I'll probably stay up. But if it looks like the Celtics can't win with, 8 to 5 minutes left in the game, or 8 to 6 minutes left in the game, then I'll turn it off and go to bed. And wait until Thursday's game. I know I have to do the next seal still. All right. Oh my gosh. Failing. Like, get a little closer to being done, and then I screw up. I'm almost done, though. Alright, let's see. I don't know why this paint is so wet. It's bad on black. I mean, I realize I just put it on a wet palette. Yes, I get that, but it's coming out the paint pot a little more liquidy than I'd like. That's what I get for changing it up instead of using my tried and true Vallejo black. I was like, oh, I'll try this GW black since I painted the rest of the miniature with GW. Nope. So for now, I'm just, again, because of time, I'm just going to paint them with some generic bases. Black tops with rim around it in the color of the Ranger. And then in the end, once I've gotten all of these done that I'm trying to do, you know, maybe I'll make themed bases for all of them all at the same time. It'd be easier to do that with the it'll be easier to do that than doing them one at a time, you know what I mean? Makes sense. Well, this little brush here, this one that I got on Amazon for really cheap, this sucker was a workhorse for these small miniatures. So on tomorrow's stream, you'll definitely see me reaching for that one more. Oh no! Ah! Oh my gosh, of course, 5 seconds before the stream's about to be over with, I screw up that big because the thing slipped in my hand. Ugh, that stinks. But it happens, unfortunately. And you guys saw me do it. So that's, yeah. Yes, I will fix it, but it's probably not gonna, I'm probably not gonna have time to fix it on the stream. So I will have to wait and do it either off camera or quickly next time, because now I've got to let that black dry where I screwed up. Man, that sword looked so good too. Let me see if I can dab some of it off. That happened. Black smudge on my sword. God blessed America. Dropping stuff, I'm screwing up. Maybe he just killed Venom. Yeah, maybe. The thing that stinks is, like, that sword looked really good. Like, really good. I had surprised myself with how good it looked. And then I go and screw it up right before the stream's about to end. But I'm rushing. I'm gonna get it fixed. Alright, so while I'm finishing this last little bit, I'll go ahead and start doing all of my plugs. So like I said, next week, so tomorrow, right here, same channel, same time, I will be painting a G.I. Joe miniature from the G.I. Joe role-playing game. And even if you're not into G.I. Joes, come hang out, because we talk about all kinds of nerdy stuff on all of my live streams all the time. And I try and teach stuff. So even though I might not be painting a Power Ranger, you may learn a technique that is useful on Power Rangers. See paints, all kinds of different stuff. So we have a good time on these streams, regardless of what we're painting. And then next week, we will be doing the same thing. So next week, Monday, we'll be painting another RPG miniature. Undecided yet which one I'm going to paint, but it'll be one. And same thing next Tuesday. And then the week after that, I'm actually taking off because I'm going to Costa Rica. So there will be no painting the week after that. Actually, for 2 weeks, because then that's the week after that is 4th of July. So the next 2 weeks we're doing this, then 2 weeks off, and then I'll be back to regularly scheduled programming. And also, make sure that you check out my show, my channels. So I stream every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/Circle of Nerds. It is my show called It's So Tiny, as we've talked about here today. And yeah, same thing. Even if you're not into what we're painting, I try and teach stuff. And maybe it's something that you could get into. Maybe you'll learn something. And maybe you won't, and you'll just still have a good time hanging out with us. Yeah, so I also have all of the socials, so you can find me on Renegade's Renegade's Facebook groups. I post polls and pictures and stuff over there. And also, there we go. Sword has been fixed. Facebook, Twitter, no, Facebook, sorry guys, Facebook and TikTok at It's So Tiny, Instagram at The Real Daddy Louie, and that's all my plugs. And don't forget, hold on, I gotta get my cheat sheet. Don't forget that you can win this model that I've just painted today, or 5 others like it, at GenCon. So GenCon is in August. The event is called the Renegade Community Bash. It is Saturday, August 6th in room 139, again at GenCon. And that is from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Go and hang out with some Renegaders, play some games with them, and have a chance at winning this super cool, painted by me, and screwed up by me, and then fixed by me, miniature of the Red Ranger from Power Rangers. And in about 2 seconds, he will be fixed, assuming I don't sneeze and ruin, like, his whole left side, and have to fix that. Alright, cool. There he is. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyway, I love you guys. Make sure you take care of yourself, take care of others, play your games, paint your miniatures, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, same Daddy Louie time, same Daddy Louie channel. Good night, New York. I'm not in New York. Good night, Renegade. See you guys tomorrow.